Ali Madad. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Iman and I really hope you will enjoy this session. As we all know, there are important days in our lives when we come together with our families and our Jamaats and offer prayers. Do you remember what our last celebration was? Think about the things you did. Do you remember which one it was? Our last festival was Nowruz. Did you guess that? We celebrated the beginning of a new year with the coming of spring. You will have noticed that our festivals are taking a different form this year, but we must remember that even if life is different at the moment, there are special days that remind us to stay united as a Jamaat, to have peace, love and hope in our hearts. No matter where we are, even when we are apart, let us remember that we are always connected. We are one Jamaat. In this webinar, we are going to learn about an important night called Laylat al-Qadr. This is the night of power. Laylat al-Qadr is a very special night for Muslims. It comes every year in the month of Ramadan. Allah created the day and the night and has created the bright moon and the stars up in the sky, and has given us the days and the weeks, the months and the years. Have you ever wondered why there is silence in the night? It is at night that you dream the most amazing dreams. Have you ever wondered why some animals can see in the dark night? Allah has made the world a very special place with many special creatures. Animals that have amazing skills. Some of them can even see really well in the dark, like the owl or the fox. Have you ever wondered how the most amazing colours appear under the moonlight? Have you noticed that at the end of the day, when the sun is going down and the moon is starting to rise in the sky, the most beautiful colours appear? The wonders that we all see in the world were created by Allah. Day and night, night and day, Allah is always with us. Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him and his family, Allah's last messenger, taught people to pray to Allah. He was an example to everyone. He was kind, caring, honest, generous and helpful. These are only some of the words we can use to describe him. Can you think about other words to describe the Prophet? Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet tried to help all people in Makkah. The life of the poor, the sick, the orphans, the widows and the slaves was very difficult. The Prophet was very sad to see this, and he prayed to Allah for guidance about how to help these people. One night, when he was thinking and praying, something amazing happened. To find out more, I will take you back to the time of our last Prophet. Have you travelled before? Was it exciting? There are many different ways of travelling. I am sure you will enjoy this one. We will now travel in our imagination. Please sit quietly and use your mind to imagine the story that I am about to tell you. Remember, Allah has given us a mind. With our mind, we can do great things. So let us try to imagine. Try to imagine you have travelled to a time long ago and far away on a warm night to a large rocky place. And let's see who we find there. So, let's get ready to travel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The cave in the mountain. Hello there. So you came all the way to visit me? I have been standing here for many years in this exact place, watching the grains of sand come and go, and watching people come and go. I have lost track of the time now, but I do remember many, many things. Yes, that's right. You are here in Mecca, and probably already know that I am a rocky mountain, and my name is Hira. As you can imagine, I am tall, strong, and very old. I can tell you many stories of things I have seen all these years. So, let me tell you a story. A long time ago, I was the one place where Prophet Muhammad often came to pray, in a little cave right here. My cave was a very special place for him. You know, I was the one place far from the noise and the people of the city. He found peace and happiness here. Well, during the month of Ramadan, Prophet Muhammad was in this cave reflecting and praying to Allah. One night, on the 23rd day of Ramadan, something amazing happened. He heard the voice of an angel. "Recite," said the voice in the dark night. The voice came from all around him and within him. Prophet Muhammad replied to the voice, "I cannot recite." The voice said again, "Recite." "I cannot recite," he replied again. The voice told him for the third time, "Recite." He said once more, "I cannot recite." Then Prophet Muhammad received the first message, the first revelation from Allah. Recite, "In the name of your Lord, who created humankind from a clot of blood." Recite, "And your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught humankind that which he knew not." The Prophet continued to receive Allah's message over many years, and these messages were later put together in the form of a book, which we call the Quran. Prophet Muhammad taught people the message from the Quran, teaching them to be peaceful, kind, generous, and helpful. So, it's time for me to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this story. Remember, you can use your mind to travel anywhere and anytime you want. See you again soon, I hope. The night when this special event happened is called Laylat al-Qadr. It means the night of power. Why do you think it is called the night of power? This is a very important night for us, for our family and for the Jamaat. Many Muslims keep awake on this special night to recite prayers and give thanks to Allah. What do you think the Prophet was doing in the cave? he was praying to Allah. What would you do in a cave? Do you like to sit quietly in silence? What do you feel when you sit quietly? And what do we do on Laylat al-Qadr? We remember the night in which the Prophet received the first revelation, and we thank Allah for the guidance He sent. We hear stories to remember the example of the Prophet. We say thank you to Allah for all that we have in our lives. Have a think about some of the things that you are grateful for. There are many ways in which we can remember Allah and His message, the Quran. As an activity, you can make a beautiful drawing around some verses of the Quran. In the middle of a white piece of paper, write down these verses from the Quran that you see here. But first, you need to fill in the missing words. Can you guess what are the missing words? Let me read the verse to see if you are right. Say, He, Allah is one. Allah on whom all depend. He does not give birth, nor was He born, and there is none like Him. This is the Surat al-Ikhlas that we can find in the Quran and which says that Allah is one. Later on, ask your family to remind you how to recite this in Arabic, as we say it in the 6th part of our dua. When you do this activity, write the completed verses in the centre of a blank piece of paper as nicely as you can. Take some time to create a nice frame around the verse. You can use geometric or floral patterns, it's up to you. Be creative and share your work with your family. We love and respect Prophet Muhammad. We learn from his teachings and try to follow his example. We also remember the Prophet and his family in our prayers. The second suggested activity we have for you is to write the name of our last Prophet in Arabic calligraphy. Today we will use Kufic calligraphy. In this style of calligraphy, the letters have a geometrical form, so you can perhaps use a ruler to help you out. So, what have we learnt? Prophet Muhammad was kind, caring and helpful. Prophet Muhammad received the first revelation of the Quran on Laylat al-Qadr. And you already know that this Quran is the book of divine guidance for all Muslims. Home tasks. On Laylat al-Qadr, you can sit in silence, close your eyes and talk to Allah. You can write down your own prayer and recite it with your family. It is important that we also do our personal prayers. After your experience of the Night of Power on the following Saturday, try to write a poem or create a rhyme about Laylat al-Qadr with your family. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. Thank you very much, and Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Rabia, and I really hope you will enjoy this session. As you might know, there are important days in our lives. Days where we come together with our families and friends to honour important occasions in our lives. We also mark important religious occasions by coming together as a Jamaat to offer prayers and celebrate our bond as a spiritual family. This is one of the things that keeps us together as a community. Do you remember the last event we celebrated as a Jamaat? How did you celebrate? Think about what you did to celebrate. Our last celebration was Navroz. Did you guess that? In which we celebrated the beginning of a new year with the coming of spring. As you are aware, our festivals have been taking a different form this year. But we need to remember that even if life is different at the moment, we should remember why we are celebrating these events and keep the spirit of unity, peace, love and hope in our hearts. No matter where we are, even when we are apart, let us remember that we are always connected. We are always one Jamaat. One way of keeping the spirit of our community alive is by connecting with your brothers and sisters on a regular basis. In this webinar, we are going to learn about Laylat al-Qadr. This is the night of power. Laylat al-Qadr is a very special night for Muslims. It comes every year in the month of Ramadan. As you might be aware, this is the month of Ramadan. What do you know about this month? Why do you think it's important? What would be your answer to this question? Try to think of an answer by using the words here. Reconnect, engage, increase and practice. But also don't forget to use words like Allah and faith. Ramadan is a time for us to reconnect to our faith, to increase our awareness of Allah's presence in our lives. It is a time to engage in more prayer and to practice the values of our faith by performing acts of kindness. Towards the end of Ramadan, we have a special occasion called Laylat al-Qadr, and to mark the end of the month of Ramadan, we have the Eid al-Fitr celebration. And today we will learn more about Laylat al-Qadr. What does Laylat al-Qadr literally mean? It means the night of power. Have you ever thought why this night is called the night of power? What does power mean? What do you think makes this night so powerful? Let's see how much you already know about Laylat al-Qadr. Pay attention and see how many of these questions can you answer. The Quran says that this night is better than A. 10 hours, B. 100 days, C. 1,000 months. The correct option is C. 1,000 months. The Quran speaks beautifully about this special night when it says in a surah, "We have indeed revealed this message in the night of power." And what will explain to thee what the night of power is? The night of power is better than 1,000 months. Therein come down the angels and the Spirit by Allah's permission on every errand. Peace, this until the rise of morn. what happened in the night of power? Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him and his family, received the first revelation of the Quran on this night. Prophet Muhammad continued receiving Allah's message for over A. 13 years, B. 23 years, or C. 33 years. The correct answer is B. 23 years. During these years, the Prophet was guiding Muslims according to the message. One of the first words to be revealed to the Prophet Muhammad was Iqra. What does it mean? It means recite or read. Did you know verses of the Quran are recited by us as a Jamaat in our daily prayers? And it is very important to learn the meaning of our prayers. Although the people in Mecca worshipped idols in the Kaaba, Prophet Muhammad prayed to one God, Allah. Prophet Muhammad was very worried about the suffering of some people in Mecca. Who were they? These were the poor and the sick, the orphans, the widows and the slaves. Life was extremely difficult for them. Every year, Prophet Muhammad would leave the busy city of Mecca and go to a cave on Mount Hira. There he would pray, sit in silence, and contemplate in the mountain. He would stay in the cave, reflecting and praying. One night, something amazing happened in the quietude of the cave. Prophet Muhammad heard a voice commanding him to recite. The voice commanded him 3 times to recite, and each time he asked, "What shall I recite?" And finally, the voice said, "Recite, in the name of your Lord who created humankind from a clot. Recite, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught humankind that which he did not know." That was the voice of Angel Jibreel, sent by Allah to reveal the first verses of his message to Prophet Muhammad. Take some time to think about the meaning of these verses of the Quran. What do you think the word pen means here? What does a pen symbolize? What is it that Allah has taught humankind? Allah chose Prophet Muhammad, who was kind, generous, humble, helpful and honest, to be the last messenger. So how do you think Muslims celebrate the Night of Power? In this important night, many Muslims pray for long hours. They recite the Quran, practice zikr, give thanks to Allah. They also ask for forgiveness and ask for guidance. Have you thought about what you will do? These are some of the things you can do. You can pray with your family, but also you can dedicate some time to personal prayers. You can reflect on your own life and what is important to you. You can give thanks for all the blessings in life. On the next morning, it is important for you to reflect on your experiences and to recall the night of power. How was it? How did you feel? How has it inspired you? We would like to encourage you to make it a really special night for you and your family. Perhaps you can read stories from the Ta'lim to your family and reflect with them about the meaning of these stories. We would suggest you read stories from Primary 4, Ta'lim Book 2, the stories that were written by Maulana Rumi. There are many ways in which we can remember Allah. Throughout our history, many Muslims have used art to express their love and devotion to Allah, the last prophet and the Imams. As a way to think about Allah and to express your love for Allah, we would like to invite you to do some calligraphy and learn how to write Allah in Arabic. You can copy it to a piece of paper and later you can try to draw it in another shape and decorate it. Dedicate some time to work on your piece of calligraphy. Writing the name Allah will help you to think about Allah and all the blessings He has provided for you. If you wish, you can write a little prayer around the calligraphy. Every time you look at the calligraphy, it will be an important opportunity to remember Allah. On Laylat al-Qadr, sit in silence. Close your eyes and talk to Allah. You can write down your own prayer and recite it with your family. After you experienced the night of power with your family, write a poem or create a rhyme about Laylat al-Qadr. So what have we learnt? Prophet Muhammad received the first revelation of the Quran on Laylat al-Qadr. Prophet Muhammad was kind, caring and helpful, and Allah's final messenger. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. Thank you for participating, and Ya Ali Madad.